This is Dr. Lam of drlam.com and the Adrenal Fatigue Center. One of the common questions we have from adrenal fatigue sufferers is about reproductive capabilities and disruption both in men and women. Now, fertility hormones for both men and women include primarily three hormones: estrogen, progesterone, those are for women, as well as the testosterone, that's both for women and men. Now, in the case of adrenal fatigue, most men would have a testosterone level that's either normal or low normal, or in advanced cases, low. Estrogen and progesterone is very different. And a woman who has estrogen problems before, this can be amplified when they have adrenal fatigue. And in normal people who have adrenal fatigue, in women-wise, the estrogen tend to go up relative to progesterone. But there are many, many variations, so this generalization usually is not going to hold up unless you're accompanied by a very detailed clinical evaluation to make sense out of it. Generally speaking, when a person is in adrenal fatigue, the less the body is able or willing to go through the reproductive cycle, and for good reasons. The body, in the case of adrenal fatigue, is concerned about survival. And the way it wants to do it is by reducing energy output. And reproduction is not an important or priority when it comes to survival. So women with AFS would tend to have period irregularities or even no period when the problem is severe. Men will have low libido, as well as a sense of being drained. Usually, this is also accompanied in men with sex drive that not only reduces, but the body that goes into a slump after sexual activities. A woman is not as much, okay? In men, therefore, the ability of libido to regain itself is often a sign of adrenal recovery. In other words, when the adrenal fatigue is improved, libido generally and spontaneously improve by itself. At the same time, if you try to stimulate and increase libido in male with use of external testosterone, this will work. Oftentimes it is only a short-term patch, but there are long-term problems with this approach, because you are essentially covering up the masking of the underlying problem and stimulate the body to perform the sexual function. And this may work for a while, but oftentimes, as I said, it can be followed with relapses as the body crashes quite significantly over time if external stresses are quite significant. So for male, the low libido is a sign, and it recovers by itself. And oftentimes, the less you touch this area, the better. Any attempts to stimulate the body can have dire consequences. In female, the reproductive disruptions are normally and very frequently show up in the terms of menstrual dysregularity, infertility, and first trimester miscarriages. These are very, very common, and if there are no structural problems that account for these, then adrenal fatigue should be considered. Fortunately, both types of fertility hormones can self-regulate to a certain degree. As a result, if you really give the body a chance to self-heal, oftentimes these problems resolve. It may not be 100%. It really depends on the case to case. Oftentimes, the natural compounds can be helpful to assist the process, but you don't want to just replace and just what we call overwhelm the body with all kinds of hormones, even though they may be natural, because it can cause a lot of shutdown and dysregulated feedback loops, which can not only mask the underlying symptoms, but create another set of problems. So fertility hormones is an important consideration, and this must be approached very carefully also because everybody is very different when they have adrenal fatigue. I hope you've enjoyed this video. For more information on this topic, head over to drlam.com, where I've written over 1,000 articles to help educate people. You can also call me at 626-571-1234 for more information on adrenal fatigue and how to navigate it. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.